begin with your opening statement. You have 1 minute.
Good evening. For those of you who don't know me, my name is Matt Balser, and I am a junior communication studies major from Hurley, Mississippi. I've been involved with SGA throughout my 3 years here, starting off in freshman associates as the freshman finale director, going on to my sophomore year being the assistant homecoming director, and now currently as a junior I serve as the executive director of events, where I'm in charge of homecoming, the big event, lighting the way, Eaglepalooza, and the Miss USM pageant. Besides just doing events, at my time in SGA, I've also served on a university committee where I was a part of the revamp of Southern Miss Summer School, known as Summer Miss. Did not pick the title. And that's all.
Thank you. Jeffrey, you have 1 minute to give your opening statement.
All right, well, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you for being here tonight. For those of you I do not know, my name is Jeffrey George. I'm a junior political science major from Covington, Louisiana, and I am running for re-election as your Student Government Association president. Over my years at Southern Miss, I have served on SGA in multiple capacities. Starting out as a freshman, I was on Freshman Associates as the president of Freshman Associates. In my sophomore year, I served as the co-director for Eaglepalooza, and in this past year, I have served as SGA president. While on campus, I've also served in multiple different roles around campus. I've been involved with the First Year Initiative Office through Southern Style 2014, as well as serving as a student worker in the First Year Initiative Office, where I'm able to interact with students on a daily basis and really find out the issues that they're having. Most importantly, though, Student Government Association has been a huge part of my career here at Southern Miss, and I have an extreme passion for this organization. Would love to continue serving as your president.
Thank you. And now our presidential candidates will have 3 minutes for their platform speeches. Jeffrey, we'll begin with yours. You have 3 minutes.
Thank you, Meredith. I firmly believe that through continuing to create a stronger student government, we will be able to create better student life for our students on a daily basis here at Southern Miss. As I run for re-election, I hope to continue the successes of our organization and work towards greater heights for SGA. Some of the things that I would like to accomplish over this next year are increasing the flexibility of your student ID to not only be used at vending machines on campus, but also to be used for the Hattiesburg bus system and at more locations at our athletic games. This is an important factor for convenience for our students. Another major thing I would like to accomplish is increasing your accessibility to our library on campus. That means adding more time on at the end of each night, and most importantly, adding more space during our finals week. And though our university is going through budget cuts right now, I believe that we can do these things through different grants and external funding that we are eligible for. Another important aspect of my campaign is campus safety. This past year, SGA started our Creed Week to help promote campus civility and safety throughout a week in September. Not only would I like to continue these efforts, but I'd also like to work to increase the number of blue safety poles on campus and improve lighting on our campus. These are two huge aspects that can positively affect our student body in helping to keep us safe. Even though these blue safety poles do cost $10,000 a piece, I would like to work with our administration, if that's not possible, to add more of those, to get an app where we could actually, from our phones, alert Campus PD, and it would tell them where you are and give you an ETA of how long it'll take them to be there. I really believe that the efforts that we're making towards campus safety are huge for our university community. Finally, I would like to use my experience as Student Government Association president to line up a SGA strategic plan that will line up with our university strategic plan that is currently being created. This is an important aspect that SGA has and a role that we have of supporting our administration. I would like to support our administration by lining up our initiatives with the different student success initiatives that our university has. As you can see though, I would like to meet immediate needs that our students have, and all the points that I have mentioned are improvements that I know can happen over the next year, even with these budget constraints that we're under. I am a firm believer that the future of Southern Miss is bright, and I would love to continue to be a part of making this university a better place. With the experience I've gained, I believe I'm in the perfect position to continue to lead the Student Government Association. We have already played a major role in the day-to-day administration of our university, and I plan to reach new heights if you elect me as your SGA president. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeffrey. And now, Matt, you will have 3 minutes to give your platform speech.
With my big background in events, one of my main things I do want to work on immediately is reevaluating our events budget so we can start putting more money towards artist selection for Eaglepalooza. Yes.
With the $10,000 budget cut that SGA will be seeing next year, what SGA initiative do you plan to cut in order to do this?
I think the first thing that we need to cut is stipends for officers, because SGA president currently gets $4,000 right now, and executive officers altogether is $11,000.
Thank you.
I want to start doing this, and not only just reevaluating how we do our budgeting, but reevaluating how we do our fundraising. Start in the summer with grant raising. We've talked about this throughout the Eaglepalooza committee towards the end. And this is really important because our retention and recruitment is low right now, and I want us to start having a concert that's going to start matching up with other big concerts going around. I want us to be held in the same standard as Bulldog Bash is every year. Another big thing I want to start off with is printing kiosks set up around campus. This is a system called WEPA. I would like to put one in Sienna Hall, the LAB, and the Century Park Complex. This works through linking the printing account to your SOAR, and all you have to do is log into your SOAR, send your paper to the cloud of the WEPA system, and you can just go to one of these convenient locations and actually go print it off. Another big thing is using student IDs for off-campus eating. I know this is a very ambitious thing to tackle, but I think it's something that could really improve daily life here at Southern Miss. We have a lot of bonus bucks and dining dollars that have to be used at 6, 7 locations, and I think us being able to actually use a system, my system that I've started looking at is called MoneyMate. It's used at Mississippi State, and how it basically works is you can transfer your bonus bucks or your dining dollars and put them in a separate account that will be used for off-campus. This will be limited to some extent, but it will actually be useful for yes.
Are you aware that Airmark has already told our SGA Senate that they would not be willing to go to off-campus options with the addition of Dunkin' Donuts and Panda Express within the next 6 months on campus?
I'm willing to fight, and considering how construction goes on this campus, I don't know if those will be up by then. And my last big thing I would like to talk about is getting more involvement with transfer students and international students. I would like to start a pairing program with international students so they are paired with Hattiesburg local students so they can actually get fully immersed into the daily life here at Southern Miss. And I would also like to start a branch in SGA for transfer students that will help them better acclimate when they transfer in. Thank you.
Thank you, Matt. The first question will go to Matt. Amidst continued budget cuts from the state legislature and the university, what role can an SGA president play in advocating for the needs of Southern Miss and the student body?
I think it's really important for us to start really reevaluating how we do our SGA budget. I was actually looking at it last week, and $13,000, actually over $13,000 when it goes to stipends. I believe that this should be cut out because you're not doing this for money. You're doing this to serve the students. And I really feel like it's a nice compensation for the amount of time you're putting in, but there's also other people putting in just as much time in the SGA cabinet and the Senate on the judicial board that aren't getting paid anything. So let's even the playing field with everybody so everybody stays doing the same amount of work and are getting the same amount of respect. I don't think we should be financially compensated for what we're doing for the students.
Thank you. Jeffrey, you will have 2 minutes to give a rebuttal.
On this topic, I believe that the work that our students do in SGA is a very important part of this university. Our SGA executive officers do commit countless hours and spend very late nights in the SGA office. Just last night, Meredith was up there till almost 12 o'clock at night preparing for today's events and for tomorrow. Our officers have to travel and do a lot of different things for our university. I'm not saying that I think we should completely continue to keep these stipends, but I believe that it is an important part to enable our leaders to be able to act upon the things that our students need. The stipend also helps cover travel to and from Jackson, which is where the SGA president and other officers have to travel on a daily basis, on a monthly basis, in order to advocate for the needs of our students. There are other options to increase the SGA budget outside of the university and work with our legislators to really advocate for the needs of our students, but also work with our student body to invest in things that are important to them with our budget, and not just use $75,000 to $100,000 on an event that happens one night. Thank you.
Thank you, Jeffrey. The next question will go to Jeffrey. What are two pressing issues of student concern, and how would you advocate those interests?
One of the biggest issues on campus that my opponent has already addressed is actually printing. But what some of you may not be aware of is we are currently fighting a battle and working with our dean of the libraries to actually just keep the cost of printing down and keep it at the same price that it's at. We're currently in negotiations to work on a new printing contract, and we need to work to fight to make sure that our printing costs in the library don't go up before we focus on adding kiosks around campus. But I do agree that it is a great idea to do that. Another major issue that we'd like to address is a transit system on campus. This is something that we believe, and our SGA leadership believes, is something that can be accomplished in the near future. We've already been working with administrators and discussing possibilities of how we could just get a simple system that would bring you from the outskirt parking lots to where the library is. And these are two very important issues to our student body.
Thank you, Jeffrey. Matt, you will have 2 minutes to give your rebuttal.
Previously to your statement about travel, isn't there $10,000 allocated for traveling within the SGA budget? It's in there. But with transit, I feel like that's really not an important issue with students right now. We are on a square mile, and I mean, if transit's an issue, I think that's something that we really need to evaluate. I know police services is already doing their shuttling services, and that's already an option that we have on campus if you would like to. But I don't think spending a ton of money just to have people shuttled around from separate parts of campus is really something that we need to look at. And that's all I have, Meredith.
Thank you. Now, Jeffrey, you will have 1 minute to give your closing statement.
Like I told you in my opening statement, since my freshman year, I have been invested in every single aspect of SGA. I've seen this organization grow through campaigns like Your Opinion Matters and through initiatives like the Standout Sophomores program and the Finish in 4 program, and I've helped and witnessed the best Eaglepalooza and homecoming events that have happened in our university's history. I've seen our administration become more student-focused than we ever have been in our history, and I believe that is something that we need to capitalize on as the Student Government Association. I would like to continue this movement upward for our student body, and I believe that we can do this together. We can create better student life through a stronger student government that advocates for the needs of our student body on a daily basis and doesn't just focus on the events that we do maybe once a month. These are the important things that I believe that we need to focus on, and I would greatly appreciate your support tomorrow. Thank you for coming out.
Matt, you have 1 minute to give your closing statement.
I've invested the 3 years I've had at Southern Miss in this organization. I love this organization, and I really want to make a difference in the everyday lives of students. I want this to be a convenient place where you can go get printing, you can eat wherever you want. I want people to walk out of their dorm or drive to campus and say, I'm glad I go to Southern Miss every day. I want to keep things fresh within student government. I believe that our campus is always changing, and I feel like change is a good thing, especially when it comes to student government, because the ideas of what leadership is does change what's in the minds of the students. I would really appreciate your support as I go after Student Government Association President, and I will see y'all at the polls tomorrow.
Thank you both. You can return to your seats. And now I'd like to call up our third